This episode of the What's Happening Delco podcast is brought to you by Delco Meets for Business. Check us out on Meetup, register, and attend one of our fantastic networking meetings, which we meet on the first and third Thursday at the Brick House in Ridley Park, and the second and fourth Thursday at the Upper Crust in Newtown Square. We look forward to seeing you there. What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Jane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today, I'm joined by Raelyn Harmen of Teammates-Folcroft. Raelyn, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me.
Raelyn, what is Teammates-Folcroft?
Teammates is an organization, a nonprofit that just started in July of 2020. We collect all manner of products and redistribute them to 82 schools in Delaware County where they might not have all the supplies that the students or teachers need to optimize their learning and teaching.
How did you get started with Teammates?
So I learned that there are dozens of teacher resource centers like ours around the country, and I was sure there had to be one in this area, but there wasn't, which I found crazy. So I did a lot of research, and it just kept bugging me because I knew there was a great need and there's an abundant amount of resources that could be put to it, already in place. It's just a matter of moving them.
Raelyn, what's your background? Have you been a teacher in the past?
No, I'm a social worker by training. I've owned a business. My husband and I owned a business as well. And I've done administrative work, but I did work in the Philadelphia Public Schools as a contracted social worker. So I'm familiar with public education in the area.
All right. So talk about some of these supplies and talk about some of the resources that Teammates provide for those school districts and school systems.
Okay, so it's a lot more than what you think of as typical school supplies. They go into a backpack. So we collect hygiene, storage supplies, anything that's used in an office is used in a classroom. Arts and crafts supplies, classroom decor, science. We've had lab equipment donated. We've had bug and rock collections donated. We have a pretty extensive accepted donation list that people could refer to on our website.
Now, you mentioned a key word, backpack. So do you provide backpacks as well as filling them with all these resources?
So what happens, sometimes we get quite a few organizations at the beginning of the school year that want to do backpack builds. So we help them do that. We get, they can order, now this year they'll be able to order directly online, however many they want, the supplies they want to put together for us to distribute. But no, what's really nice about our model is that teachers join us. It's $40 for a 2-year membership. And many of those are sponsored by donors or people who want to support educators. And then they go on our online free store, and nothing after that membership, they don't cost them anything. So once a quarter, they're allowed to order up to 25 items, but one item would be 30 binders, for example. So it's the average order this year is valued at about $500. So, multiply that by 8 in 2 years. So it really depends on how good a shopper they are. And if they remember to put in their order, but it's really worth thousands of dollars to the teacher for a nominal cost. And teachers are, the other reason that motivated me is I think it's ridiculous. Teachers have to pay out of pocket for supplies.
You mentioned 2 ways that people can help Teammates. One is financial donations, and the other are these supplies, things that may be laying around your house or office. If you want to donate those, you can. And I'm sure that people like canned food drives will go out at the beginning of the year and buy all these supplies and provide them to you for those teachers and their classrooms and their students.
Yes, we have 2 big pushes for supply drives, of course, back to school. But until I did this work, I didn't know January was a big time for replenishing all those consumables. So we have a supplies for second semester campaign, usually in January and February of the year. And where businesses are our main source of donations. And in a way, COVID did us a favor in this respect that so many businesses have changed their office footprint. They don't need as many office supplies as they once did. And rather than throwing them out, they could donate them to us, meet sustainability goals, get a tax write-off, and really, know that they're making a significant contribution to education in the county.
So the best thing to do is before you throw those things out or just let them sit there and just collect dust, look at your website, maybe what you need. But even still, I'm sure you can find a home for just about anything, couldn't you?
Just about anything. We've had some pretty unusual things, and people, even we've gotten yarn donated, and we have a battalion of people crocheting and knitting hats that teachers could order. What I started to say was that teachers can pick exactly what their students need or they need rather than a one size fits all. So, maybe they don't need backpacks. They need paper, or they need storage containers or art supplies or Lysol wipes, and they could order those things and not just be pigeonholed into only accepting a pre-packaged set of supplies.
Well, you mentioned some things you had donated, like yarn. Has there been anything that you've been asked for that you kind of thought, well, that was extraordinary? I wouldn't have imagined that.
So I can't say we have such a wide variety that I don't think. Well, I would say that teachers, one of the most popular items, which I never would have expected, is what we call incentive bags. And we make up according to grade level. Usually our retired teacher volunteers do this. And they're the little things that teachers reward students with. And they are extremely popular. We really can't keep them in stock. As soon as we get this is how we move all our miscellaneous stuff. But the other thing that contributes is a great product that goes in those bags are all the brand and merchandise that companies produce that may have ordered too many, or their logo changed, or their company name changed. And, stress balls, little flashlights, branded notebooks or Post-its or things like that I would have never thought of as valued school supplies. But teachers, that definitely is coming out of their pocket. So it doesn't make sense if we could collect it on their behalf.
That's fascinating. And look, it opens up a wealth of ideas to even people stop and say, all right, school supplies, office supplies. But you're telling me that a lot of things that may be collecting in an office space or around the house, I wouldn't have thought stress balls. I wouldn't have thought different things that could be rewards for those students. So there are, go to the website first, or if you're not sure, then definitely reach out
Absolutely.
to you.
Yeah. There's no way we could possibly think of everything that might be out there. And employees, they have to clean out their warehouses on behalf of their employers, are not happy about throwing out perfectly good things. Employers aren't either. But this gives them a great opportunity to just make a difference, at the same time, make some space wherever they're in their workplace.
Raelyn, how many teachers are subscribed currently? How many schools do you have in the fold that you work with?
So we have 545 teachers that are members. We got two great grants that allow us to extend the membership to 2 years instead of the typical one. So our goal this year, by the end of the year, is to have 850 members. And it's K through 12 grade teachers. And it's in all the public, charter, and parochial schools within 7 districts. So it's 82 schools, I think it's right now. We're at that.
You spoke about you and your husband starting a business. You spoke about being a social worker, and I'm curious, who mentors you? Who inspires you?
So I'm very fortunate to be a part of a collective of teacher resource centers, and they've been around a long time. And I'm very excited. Right now, we've recently developed a way to share donations. So for example, a teacher resource center in Michigan has too much poster board or has a connection to some donor who wants to get rid of it. So we're accepting 13 pallets of poster board any day now. And so those, I pretty much refer to those other directors or staff around the country that have been doing this longer than us, and I cut and paste like crazy, adapt their ideas, and I think that's why we have grown as fast as we have. I never imagined we'd be this large in this short time.
Your website is, for people that want to start to look to reach out?
teachersteammates.org.
And is there a social media presence?
Yes, we're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Same things at Teachers Teammates?
Yes. That's a good question.
I know it is. So it's like, I don't know my phone number. How would I know my phone number, right? But these are things that we just kind of, has to come back into the collective memory again, right?
Right. Exactly.
Raelyn, you're out and about collecting school supplies and you have a cheesesteak craving. Is there a place that's your go-to for cheesesteaks?
Leo's Steak Shop.
Leo's Steak Shop is your go-to for cheesesteaks. Now, how about pizza? Where are you going or bringing home a pizza from?
So, it depends on what kind of pizza. If I want Detroit pizza, I'm going to Coco's. And if I want just a regular pizza, I guess I haven't tried Coco's, but Folcroft Pizza is the other place that we, when we order for the volunteers at the warehouse, that's where we would order from.
Now, you need a convenience store option. Where are you stopping? Wawa or Royal Farms?
Probably Wawa. There's a new one near us. So that's where we would be stopping.
How do you describe Delco to somebody who's never lived here or has never heard of Delco before?
So I grew up in Buffalo, and it reminds me of Buffalo in that people are connected. I laugh on a regular basis about how many people I'm talking to, and they refer to someone that in some other way has helped teachers, teammates, or been involved, and they're somehow related or went to school together or connected. So it's a very tight-knit community. They're very proud and they're very generous. They're very enthusiastic about helping each other.
You have somebody coming in from out of town. How do you give them or where do you send them to have that Delco experience?
Definitely make sure they have cheesesteaks. Soccer team, of course, that if they like soccer, definitely go to a game.
So you're sending them to the Union, or you're taking them to see the Union?
Just taking them to see the Union. And I like just driving around. I'm actually learning. I was out in Longwood Gardens and driving through Boothwood, a part of Boothwood I never had seen before. There's it's a big county, and there's a wide variety of neighborhoods and parks, and we have some great parks. Ridley Creek State Park is definitely someplace I would take people.
So the day you're creating sounds like a lot of fun. You're going to do a little eating, you're going to do a little walking, a little hiking, you're going to do a little driving, you're going to look at some flowers. It sounds like a nice day.
It is.
Raelyn, is there anything we haven't talked about on the podcast today? Anything you want listeners to know more about you or a teacher's team?
So I think, people think of Teachers Teammates as an organization that helps educators and students. But I feel like we serve another purpose in that we're a great option for volunteers. Since the work is pretty labor intensive, it's simple work, but it's labor intensive. We have preschoolers sorting crayons by color and learning their numbers. We have senior citizens, like I said, crocheting and knitting and everything in between. We have probably 30 students with a range of abilities volunteering every week at the warehouse. We couldn't do without volunteers. There's only 2 of us on the payroll with a driver for 12 hours a week. So we moved, since we opened, we've moved $1.8 million in supplies. Yeah, it's a lot. That's what I'm saying.
Since 2020.
Yes.
And we had a whole pandemic thing in between there.
Well, yes. And you know what? Another thing the pandemic did is make people more conscious of the contribution teachers make and how important it is. So they had heard a lot about that and experienced it firsthand when schools were shut down. And so it was kind of a natural lead into let's see what we can do to help educators and students. And so in that way, it was a help. And we didn't open a storefront as we originally planned because we opened during COVID. So the online store model is working very well. And especially this year, we've been able to deliver orders. That's a game changer for us. Orders up 40% this year.
Raelyn, when I first met you, I said, this is such a great resource in Delco. And it is, for me, for what we do with what's happening in Delco, this is just a pleasure. This is a treat to meet somebody in the community that's doing what you're doing. We are very grateful for your time today, all the efforts you're making, you and the volunteers, teachers, teammates. Can't wait to see what you do in the future to help educate our children, educate our students, and help those teachers have those resources to make their job just a little easier. Look, if you appreciate that, go through your closets, Delco, go through drawers. They need these resources. Every year there's a call for more. And, just help. We're a very giving community. That's another thing that Delco is all about.
Yes, very generous. Very
all
generous.
right. So remember to share the podcast. If you like it, give us a little 5-star review. We love your comments. If you know somebody else that would love to be a guest, just like Raelyn, this is our first time on a podcast. And I had a wonderful time speaking with you, Raelyn. Thanks so much for being a guest.
Thank you very much for the invitation and having me.
And thanks for being a friend of What's Happening Delco. Hey, it's Rich. Thank you so much for being a listener to the What's Happening Delco podcast. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to learn more about the people and businesses in our community. I have been a real estate agent for over 25 years, working with first-time home buyers to last-time home sellers. As a listener of the podcast, my gift to you is a complimentary 1-year American Home Shield home warranty. This is for buyers and sellers that I help. If you're looking to move anywhere in the United States, I have you covered with an amazing network of real estate agents. I look forward to hearing from you. My direct line is 215-313-3777, or you can email me at rshaneremax@comcast.net. Oh, by the way, I am never too busy for any of your referrals.